Hey gang, Ronan here. As you can see, in this game we've got Reejr in the Tier 9 German battleship Pommern in a ranked match. He does not have any other ICOPs with him. He's all by his lonesome. And we'll see whether or not this is as exciting as I expect it probably will be. Where will he go? Obviously, I haven't watched this, so this is a situation where you and I are going to be watching this together. Got a Shimakaze out in front. Hopefully, he'll do some screening for torpedoes. Neptune. I'm not a big fan of Neptune. It's great training for the ship that comes after it, the Minotaur, but Neptune itself, I was not all that crazy about. I finally figured out how to make it work at least a little bit, but it's such a drastic difference between Neptune and Minotaur. If you can figure out Neptune and you have that skill set, when you get to Minotaur, you're probably like me. You're probably going to feel like something wonderful just happened. So anyway, we'll see what the Neptune does, but very often they just end up getting blapped early. Maybe Doc Echo knows what he's doing. Let's hope so for Reejr's sake in this game. Got a Moskva, Georgia on this side, also Hindenburg. Enemy team, probably the biggest threat, at least early, is gearing. Once those torpedoes are loaded on this map, you've got a lot of torpedo lanes. Moskva taking a position almost dead center in the map, so his radar will presumably be a factor. Enemy team not without their own radar, so let's see how that plays out. Somebody's got one of those futuristic game skins. That's the Hindi, I guess. You can hear the aircraft. It sounds like a spaceship. I presume most of you watching this, the half dozen or so that do, are familiar with the Pommern, but if you're not, it's very fun. It's a really fun ship to play. It's got, more or less typical German dispersion on the guns. You can build it, spec it for secondaries, which is hilarious fun. Maybe not as effective as some other builds, but still very fun. It's also got torpedoes. It's kind of, not exactly, but kind of like Tier 9 Tirpitz. Reejr tries to get a broadside shot on that Montana. Montana did angle a bit, which helps. The caliber on the guns in the Pommern are not all that big. So if something like the Montana does angle up, it's hard to get the kind of penetration that you really want. But it looks like Montana is going to go ahead and show a full broadside here, so Reejr's liable to be able to get full pans, maybe even Citadel here. Decent range. 5 penetrations, decent damage. And Reejr's pushing in. Will he just continue and head around this island? No, looks like he's slowing down. Looking for a broadside shot on Iowa. Now the enemy Worcester is really close. If Reejr were to push into that Worcester would be in big trouble. Got a Hindi out there on the flank, and the friendly Georgia is taking fire from multiple locations. Looks like, what is that, the Worcester? Yeah, Worcester is firing over the Georgia and at the Thunderer. Iowa's going to turn out. That's nice. You see the secondaries get going. Nice shot. No Citadel, but 6 pens for 20k damage. And the secondaries are going to work. Now, if Iowa comes this way, he runs the risk of eating torpedoes. The same goes for Worcester. Looks like Worcester's going to run behind the island. Holy cow, is that Iowa going to just keep showing flat broadside? Looks like he is, and Reejr's going to be able to capitalize on that. Down goes the friendly Georgia. This is probably going to really hurt the Iowa here. Looks like Reejr wants to get all of those barrels on the ship at one time. Well, decent damage. Didn't finish him off. I think maybe aimed a little too high, and it's academic. The Iowa's going down. And now the Worcester is going to be the victim of those secondaries. You can see Reejr has made that the primary target for the secondaries. And he's trying to get a shot on Worcester, who is trying to angle up. That's just too far behind him there. Still, second set of guns landed for almost 7,000 damage. The secondaries are just shredding. Indy's squaring off with the friendly Thunderer, and the Thunder goes down. And I think Reejr's probably going to finish the Worcester here. You can see the de Grosse is heading this way. Nice shot. And Reejr has come to a stop. He's trying to avoid pushing himself into a crossfire. Very smart. Meanwhile, friendly Shima did manage to get the Sea-Cap, but he's getting pushed out of the Sea-Cap now by the Montana and the Rune. Hopefully the Shima will be able to survive the engagement. Reejr was considering making a shot on the gearing there, I think, but he's gone dark. Looks like he's smoked up. Yep, it's visible again. Moskva must have hit the radar button. Secondaries are working. Looks like Reejr's going to try and reposition here while he's not spotted. I think I would switch to the torps right here just to see where Hindy's going. Well, it's obvious now. Hindy's coming around this corner. Reejr's going to be able to get his torps off. He might as well go ahead and counter hydro so he can know exactly where the Hindy's at. But I guess not. Now, presumably Hindy's torps are on the way. You can see Reejr has hit the hydro button now. And Hindy's going down for sure. It's just a question of can Reejr survive the incoming torps. You can see he's trying to accelerate, probably a little too late. He's going to eat one, maybe two here, I think. Yeah, at least two. Yeah, just the two. That was close. Survives the encounter. Reejr's got himself 3 ships sunk, over 104,000 damage, 200 secondary hits. Meanwhile, bad guys have been busy too. Good guys are down 2 battleships and a cruiser. Bad guys are down a battleship and 2 cruisers. Reejr's trying to get a broadside shot on Rune, but Rune is turning out. So he's going to be angled when these shells are let loose. Rune is not all that heavily armored. I expect if these shells hit, there will be some damage. One pen for a little bit of damage. And Reejr's torps are back up. Is he going to push into the de Grosse? I guess we're going to see. De Grosse is slowing down. Now Reejr could turn. He could come hard to port here and use his starboard torpedoes as well, but it looks like he's just going to flatten out his angle and try to make use of all of his guns if de Grosse makes a run for this gap. Montana's out there. Could get a shot on him, but he'd give away his position. That's 3 torpedo hits, 2 floods, and picks up a high caliber. Really nicely done, Reejr. Gearing is the primary target for the secondaries. Just got to get in position to let them start firing. The Pommern at this kind of range against the gearing. Oh, he switches to the Grosse.
Das gegnerische Team hat die Führung
He's going to put some
übernommen.
shells on the Grosse. I think that's a little too low. Still a little bit of damage. And secondaries are going to work. There's a fire. Reejr trying to heal up a little bit and trying to get off another shot before the Grosse gets out of around that island. The Grosse is going to help him by turning out a little bit. There we go. That looks pretty decent. A little bit more damage, and the Grosse is pushing into Mosfa Hindi. And closer. That's not going to go well for the Grosse. And the bad guys are down to just the Grosse and the Montana. That. Oh! Oh, I bet that gearing captain is probably getting an earful right now. Well, that's it. The bad guys have a points lead, but with only one ship left in the game, still 9 minutes left to play, and 4 enemy ships remaining, this is all over but the shouting. Reejr's going to push in here and see how much damage he can inflict on the Montana. Great job, Reejr. If you're able to finish off this Montana, that could potentially put you over 200,000 damage, which, oh yeah, at this range, yeah, it looks like you're probably going to be able to do that. Secondaries are going to work. And because this could be over any second, I'm going to say thank you very much for sending the replay file, Reejr. Really appreciate it. A lot of fun to watch. You did a great job. For those of you watching, thanks very much for spending a little time here with me. I really appreciate it. If you enjoyed the video, please consider liking and subscribing. And I will see you next time.